November 4th ballot. If you live in the city, you pay in the city and you pay in the county, right? So in my book, if you pay twice, you should vote twice, said Jones, clearly at ease with the crowd. That line, if you pay twice, you should vote twice, drew applause. It's a catchy slogan that she has repeated in the week since August 21st, when City Council voted 7-4 to approve a term sheet with Spurs Sports and Entertainment that committed city dollars to a $1.3 billion arena to be built at the former Institute of Flex and Cultures at Hemisphere. The arena would be the centerpiece of a proposed downtown sports and entertainment district, which could include an expanded convention center, a second convention hotel, a renovated Alamo Dome, and the former John H. Wood Jr. Federal Courthouse converted into a music venue, all surrounded by apartments, restaurants, and shops. Jones had wanted to delay a vote on the term sheet and negotiations with SS&E until the city receives a new financial analysis of the project by a firm with no ties to the Spurs organization. The city commissioned an economic forecast of the district's potential benefits from CSL International, which is owned by Legends, a sport and entertainment events company in which San Francisco-based investment firm Sixth Street Partners owns a majority stake. Sixth Street Partners owns a minority share of the Spurs. Jones could only get 3 council members to side with her, too short of the 5 votes she needed to pause negotiations. She has since used every opportunity to tout the need for an independent economic impact study. She has also called for a revenue sharing deal in which the city would get a cut from arena naming rights, concessions, and ticket sales, an arrangement the Spurs organization has been unwilling to consider. In response to a question about what most surprised her about her first months on the job, Jones reverted to her familiar criticism about the financing plan that a majority of council approved. I'll be honest, I was surprised there wasn't an independent economic study in place, she said. I think a lot of people were surprised by that considering how long that deal had been going on, because I think that is just a basic level of due diligence. To many City Hall observers, Jones appears to be stuck in campaign mode and hasn't been able to move into governing, which requires compromise and coalition building. If you remain in that political mode all the time, where you're constantly sort of running for office, you got the job, now it's time to do the job, said Kevin Wolf, former 3-time Republican Bexar County Commissioner who first served on City Council from 2005 to 2007. If you don't make that transition into figuring out how to do the job you've been elected to, then you will forever be ineffectual. Morgan, who works for Republicans and Democrats, said the mayor's rhetoric about the arena deal appears geared toward a future Democratic primary run. There is that fighting for the little guy and not letting the man pull one over on you kind of thing, he said. Jones twice sought to represent Congressional District 23, which sprawls from San Antonio to El Paso County. She came tantalizingly close in 2018 when she became less than 1,000 votes short of unseating incumbent Republican Will Hurd. If U.S. Representative Joaquin Castro were to run for the U.S. Senate for Texas Attorney General in 2026, many speculate that Jones might step down to seek this Congressional District 20 seat. It feels like this mayor campaign is over, but the campaign that she really wants to run might just be around the corner, Morgan said. But Jones shot down rumors that she would run for District 20 or another office. I'm having a good time, Jones told the Express News editorial board, using an expletive for emphasis. This is a great job, she added. More people live here than 11 states. So if we got our act right, we can do a lot of good here in our community. Under San Antonio's weak mayor-strong city manager system, the mayor has the power to focus public attention on her agenda, set city council's actual agenda, and make a number of key appointments, but not much more than that. In some respects, the mayor is the 11th member of the 10-member council. When you're a mayor in a weak mayor system, your power is all soft power. It's the power of persuasion. Democratic pollster Brandon Miller said on a recent episode of the Express News Inside Politics podcast, the most important thing is for you to have good relationships with the other members of council, with related stakeholders, or to have just such overwhelming support from the voters that they're a little afraid to cross you. Jones's contentious relationship with some of her council colleagues was evident in two recent votes. On September 11th, she was the lone vote against amending city code to create a fine for people caught dumping unwanted animals. Council members Marina Alderete Gavito, Terry Castillo, and Mark White forced that vote after Jones pulled the item from a previous meeting agenda. Jones initially had qualms with the code change because it stemmed from a council consideration request, or CCR, that Alderete Gavito submitted last year. Jones had wanted any requests submitted under then Mayor Nuremberg to be refiled if they hadn't become a city ordinance, police policy, or program when she took office. She then latched onto animal welfare advocates' argument that the code update needed more public input. A week later, by a 9-2 vote, Council blocked Jones from requiring members to resubmit outstanding CCRs. Just like the previous vote, this vote was also forced by Council members, with Missy Spears joining Alderete Gavito, Castillo, and White in compelling the item to be taken up. Only Council member Edward Munguia sided with Jones in voting against writing into city ordinance that proposals need not be resubmitted when a new mayor and council are seated. Wolf said it is hugely damaging for a mayor to be on the wrong side of so many votes. When you lose your marquee votes, even if they're close, it weakens your power, Wolf said. It weakens you as a real and or perceived leader. If Jones continues to rack up losses, she will find herself isolated, he added. Nobody that you serve with pays attention to you because they know your vote doesn't matter. Jones, however, doesn't view these or the term sheet vote as losses because she believes she was in the right. I'm much more focused on smart policies than the politics of some of the stuff, and I get that those things are intertwined, she told the editorial board. But my point is, what are we trying to accomplish, and how can this help as many people as possible? And if it takes a little bit more time so we get the details right, then we do that. She deflected when asked why she wasn't able to get more council members to side with her, saying that was a question for the members themselves. Councilmember Phyllis Villagrán said the mayor and council would benefit more from conversations about shared priorities and how to achieve them. We've got to take a little more time and effort to really understand. This is what I think I'm hearing, and they might say, no, that's not what I mean at all, because we all have different life experiences that we're coming with, Villagrán said. Elected in 2021, she is one of council's 3 senior-most members. For all her critics, Jones has many supporters who view her first 3 months in office as a success, largely due to her skepticism of the arena deal. City officials began hatching out plans for the arena and the larger sports and entertainment district behind closed doors in 2023. They began talking about it publicly only last November. She's down an admirable commitment to the issues working class San Antonians care about, like ensuring that a multi-billion-dollar investment in a downtown sports arena actually benefits all San Antonians, even when it isn't the popular thing to do, Laquita Garcia, organizing director of the Texas Organizing Project, said in a statement. The progressive advocacy group endorsed Jones in her June 7th runoff against former Texas Secretary of State Rolando Pablos. Graciela Sanchez, director of the Esperanza Peace and Justice Center on the West Side, credits Jones with being the first elected official to schedule a council meeting where members of the public could share their opinions on the district, known as Project Marvel, its previous city code name. Sanchez opposes public dollars being spent to build the Spurs another arena. Jones's blunt and sometimes cheeky style of interrogating city staff, consultants, and council members was on full display at that early August meeting. What does CSL stand for? She asked John Katz, a principal at CSL International, the firm that produced the financial analysis of the subject. Convention, sports, and leisure, Katz added, do you think that might be why somebody thinks you might be biased in how you write your reports? Jones quipped, making Katz laugh. Sanchez was impressed. Listening to her, I think everybody was blown away by her intelligent questions, she said. She seemed forceful and had opinions, and people might be scared of that because you don't usually see that in women, but it's not a big deal when you see it in men, right? Jones is the city's second woman of color, and first out lesbian to hold the mayor's seat. Her supporters say Jones has been harshly and unfairly criticized because of her gender, race, and sexuality. People are seeing the flaws rather than seeing how she really is holding the rest of the council and city staff and the developers to what she heard from the community on the campaign trail, Sanchez said. Jones made good on her 100-day promise to create a city policy governing the use of non-disclosure agreements, which city staff employed to keep the sports district plans under wraps. Yet the policy, which took effect in early September, won't change much in practice. It would not have prevented the use of NDAs for the district because the policy allows for the agreements to be used for preliminary discussions or negotiations about a potential economic development project valued at $50 million or more. Jones has otherwise made little progress on most of the action items on her 100-day plan, which remains on our campaign website. City staff have yet to develop a frontline workers' home ownership program for teachers, nurses, police, and firefighters. They have not identified immediate ways the city can hold corporate landlords and investors accountable for their role in the housing crisis, nor have they developed an audit to assess how well the city's online services are meeting citizens' needs. Jones has not convened a roundtable of child care providers to devise a list of immediately actionable recommendations to boost the number of child care workers in San Antonio and to make child care affordable to families. Meanwhile, she has been slow to staff her office and has struggled to keep her employees. She has yet to fill 5 of the office's budgeted positions and remains without a policy analyst who could help research and develop policy proposals. She has been without a communications director since early August, when she had that staffer reassigned to his previous position in the neighborhood and housing services department after less than a week on the job. A communications firm based in Washington, D.C. is temporarily providing strategic communication support at a cost of $10,000 a month, and their first chief of staff, or former campaign manager, left after 1 month on the job. Jones attributed her 100-day plan's